A day or so ago, we did a show where we showed how a video on the IPC President Itula condemning the elections in Namibia and coming out vehemently lambasting the process that was carried out in the Namibian election. And when we spoke during that time, we hinted that the Mozambican opposition must also be coming together to speak with one voice so that their voice can be heard. And finally, we are seeing this happening. The Namibian opposition joined hands condemning Mnangagwa and Swapo rigged election. And this is the development that is happening now, showing signs that where we are coming from and where we are going, things are not just going to be as easy as ABC, especially for Swapo. Swapo people, like we were saying in the other shows, that they are not showing that kind of excitement from the Swapo side. Rather, the people that are really looking like are excited so much are actually ZANU-PF people. And we've seen the video where also one individual, one official of the Affirmative Action Group of Namibia was actually mentioning the very same issue of saying, why is it that ZANU-PF is enjoying and celebrating this false pseudo-win more than even the officials of SWAPO themselves? And this remains as a sign that something is wrong somewhere. And indeed, we are believing that once they've come together in this manner, they will be able to speak out, they will be able to have their voice heard, and we believe that they will be able to carry out processes of fighting this process as a united front. So we don't expect to see ZANU-PF featuring again when SWAPO begins to be roasted over these elections, because they will be out of that country once the final result is announced. SWAPO will remain on their own, and they will have to be answering to the Namibian people why the process had to be this kind of a fraud process that we've seen, where a lot of rigging machinery and rigging foolish tactics of ZANU-PF that we've seen happening in Zimbabwe were the ones that were at the center of this election that many have condemned, that have been called a sham of an election, the worst ever seen in Namibia. So as for Emmerson Mnangagwa and ZANU-PF, really, this is an embarrassment, and we will continue to condemn what they did in Namibia. What they've done in Namibia is not supposed to be just going unchallenged. This must be challenged. And we don't expect to see politicians who are so rogue and lawless like Emmerson Mnangagwa and his ZANU-PF guys, that they can be so unashamedly involved in elections of another sovereign country. So we are still dealing with Mozambique right now, where there is a crisis, and Mnangagwa, being the chair of the SADC, pretends as if there is nothing happening in Mozambique. While people are dying in Mozambique, the towns are burning, roads are blocked, business is disrupted, borders are closed. Mnangagwa continues to pretend as if all is well, because that's what he has always done in Zimbabwe. He looks to the side when problems are happening, and he pretends as if there is no such a problem at all. And this remains a very, very worrying issue. It remains a worrisome situation. So now that the opposition has started to voice out, we are watching to see what steps they are going to be taking. Of course, last time we were talking about the likes of the Rita Makaraus, the corrupt judges of Zimbabwe, who have been known for rigging elections for Mugabe for a long time, having been given benches temporarily in Namibia. And we've been following this story and explaining that this could be one of the reasons why Mnangagwa and ZANU-PF have done that, so that when the opposition in Namibia would bring their cases to court, then they might find also these rogue kind of judges sitting on the bench just to dismiss the cases, the same way that we've seen happening in Zimbabwe. It's a very sad and painful thing especially to the people that are mostly affected, Mozambican people, Namibian people, who thought that they wanted to carry out a process that was going to give them a legitimate leader, a leader that has been openly and democratically elected. You know, at times you might find that maybe Swapo was just going to win just clean without even ZANU-PF employing those dirty tactics. And they could have messed up for Swapo. Maybe they were going to just win. Remember, Swapo still had a bit of ground. They were not as bad as ZANU-PF in Zimbabwe, although they were losing ground, but they had not reached the level of the Mnangagwas and the Mugabes. So the possibility of Swapo winning, although with a small margin, but winning almost like fairly, was very, very high. But it didn't happen because Mnangagwa did not want to risk it. Mnangagwa did not want to allow it. Mnangagwa is seeing that his territory is getting smaller as more and more of these liberation parties are going down. But this is not going to be of any help to him whatsoever. We are still standing and believing God and knowing that our God is going to deliver these nations. For we are with them in their prayers. We are praying for Mozambique and Namibia and believing God that in this season is a season that God is going to show and demonstrate his faithfulness. We are also still believing him for our country, Zimbabwe. Day in and day out, we don't give up. Voice or no voice, we will not give up. If it means I have to whisper, then I shall whisper. As long as I'm sending a message out there to Zimbabwean people, to intercessors, to fighters of change, to our comrades who are fighting for a new great Zimbabwe until victory is certain. And definitely, victory is our portion and it's coming our way. Let's continue to stand in the gap. Let's continue to pray. Let's continue. The past week, we have seen slightly more subscribers, especially on this platform, live with Chatufa. It has not grown like the main channel, but because of your support, if you are here and you are new on live with Chatufa, please subscribe as you did to Chatufa TV Productions so that we can also grow this platform. We will be using it also for a greater work that is ahead of our time coming soon as we continue to fight for freedom and fight for a new great Zimbabwe. God is in it and freedom is coming.